It's coffee time! I love the thrill and the feel when I get together with God's wonderful people. Love the thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people. What a sight to see all the heavenly faces, praising God in heavenly places. What a thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people.
Well, these are the pens I'm getting ready for a gun show. So far, I have, I think, 39 pens ready. And I've got stuff from all over the world.
Kind of go through here and tell us the different kinds here.
So we've got, these are both olive wood. These are as well. This is actually Bethlehem olive wood. Came from Israel. And then most of them come from Brazil. So this is Brazilian king wood. It was used by French kings to make their thrones. Cocobolo, spalted Garapyra, some other rosewoods. And there's a few down here that are also in that category. This is Bacote. It comes from Mexico. But then also I've got some wood just from around here, but this is actually some of the craziest stuff. So this is box elder burl, and then this is black ash burl along with this.
What's the average pen? You say about a half hour to make?
Yeah, average pen takes around half hour to an hour to make in total. I've also been doing a new finish on them that's a lot shinier. So this takes a little longer to do. The finish takes around 10 minutes. And then I also make them out of deer antler as well. So all three of these are all made of deer antler.
Tell us, because we're going to be out watching you. Tell us about the grant again, so many people didn't hear about it.
I got a grant from the Shellake FFA for $1,000. Well, not from the Shellake FFA, from the Wisconsin FFA. I got it because this is my SAE. It's a supervised agricultural experience. Just because I'm starting up a business, you know, and working with all these different types of wood, learning about managing money and all that. So, yeah, that's helped a lot. I've got a lot of new equipment.
I get a lot of questions on where did I ever get the name Bob Robert Bob? And I don't understand why, but I'm getting tired of repeating it, but we're going to do it. To tell the truth, I was named after my father, Bob Robert Bob. But I am not Junior. Why, you may ask? Well, the deal is that I was named after my father's last name. So there you go. Yeah.
So I'm going to try making a pen out of deer antler. I've got a neat little piece here. They come pre-drilled, so you don't have to worry about that. So I just got to take the tube and glue it in. That's all there really is to it, to this step.
What kind of wood is this?
Oh, it's deer antler. It's not wood.
Oh, that'll be interesting. And how much will this pen go for when you're done?
So this pen will probably, since I'm doing, it's called the CA finish, it'll be around a $60 pen, just because it's quite hard to turn. Usually when I'm done doing all this, I have a pretty good layer of super glue on me. Yeah, like right now. So you can see the tube is now in there. And now what I have to do is I have to trim these ends so they meet the bushings. Well, so they meet the barrel. And then it won't crack or split when it's on the bushings. And it'll be the correct size for the pen. So this is way too big. Alright. Just gotta wait for this to dry.
Hit a keyboard here yet. That makes me almost want want to dance, Flapjack.
Word of warning, this stuff smells terrible. You record it now, I guess.
Go ahead.
Alright, so I just gotta trim up the ends here.
Carlton and I were just talking. We never realized that deer antlers smell.
They smell terrible. They smell like burning hair.
Oh, wow.
Oh. They don't smell like that when they're done. So usually once the brass tube becomes a little shinier, that means I've hit it. But if you drill it too far, then you'll rip the tube apart, which has also happened to me before. So what I'm doing is this area is a little, it's kind of got marrow in it and it's hollow. So I'm stabilizing it with this super glue, a little bit of accelerator. So now when I actually turn that part down to the bushing, it'll be a lot harder.
Cool.
So now the deer antler is, it's all trimmed down to the bushings, and I'm gonna leave this one just a little fatter than normal. But, so now what I have to do is sand it. I don't like to use normal sandpaper on deer antler because it's a really tough material. So I can get away with using a lot finer stuff. So this is called, this is wet sanding. So I've got sanding pads going from 750 grit all the way to 12,000. So this will give it almost a mirror-like finish, and then even after that, I'm going to put an even better finish on it. So
Kind of like a makeup artist, huh?
yeah.
For pens.
Yeah. So, gotta grab one of these. So now I'm just gonna flip on the lathe. And this doesn't produce any dust, so that's always nice. Take the sanding pad.
I don't understand why your mom would never let you have the lathe in the basement of the house to do this work.
This stuff smells terrible, that's one reason.
And this ain't any ordinary dust, folks. This is deer antler dust.
Yeah. Yep.
3, 2, 1.
So while I was sanding this, it creates this really fine gray dust that gets trapped in here. So most people won't be able to notice it, but there actually is a little bit of dust trapped in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this denatured alcohol. It'll work with water too, but denatured alcohol evaporates a lot quicker. And just get this rag wet. And then put it on here and get rid of all that dust. Yep, you can see there's some of that white dust coming off of there. There was a little bit trapped.
Where'd you get the lathe from?
So I got it from a guy in, I think, New Richmond. We were in the Twin Cities, and I just bought this pen turning kit. It was even before I had a lathe. I was thinking about buying one, and we looked on Craigslist, and sure enough, there's a guy with one. And I got this. I got a really good deal. This is it was almost brand new when I bought it, and I got it for I think under $200 under the normal price. So that was good. So right now I'm just cutting this rag into strips because I'm going to be doing what's called a CA finish. So what I have to do is I take what's called thin CA glue, and it's just a form of super glue. And using one of these rags, I'll put a layer of it on, and then I'll let it dry for around a minute. Then I'll put another layer on and polish it with, well, not polish it, I'll harden it with some accelerator for CA. And then I'll repeat the process, and then once I have 4 layers of it on, then I'll polish it with a 1-step plastic polish, and then I'll repeat it again. And then for the final step, I'll put 3 coats of that 1-step plastic polish on, and then I'll buff it with a clean rag, and it'll be all done.
Getting it now.
So I just gotta make sure there's no dust in there right now. Okay. Oh, almost forgot. I gotta turn the lathe down to a different speed. If I tried doing a CA finish with this speed, the super glue would fly everywhere. So just gotta turn the speed down a little bit. So I've got a little piece of shop towel kind of layered up right here, and I'm just gonna turn the lathe on at slowest speed, and then put some of the super glue on here, and then just run it across.
They used to have these commercials where super glue would hold a guy up in the air, but I don't know if it would.
This stuff wouldn't. This isn't strong enough. It's a very thin super glue, but it cures a lot slower than normal.
Okay.
So I have a little more time to apply it before my finger gets stuck to my piece, which has happened, but luckily not today. And if I get even one hair stuck in any layer of this finish, I have to start it all over again.
Wow.
So while I'm waiting for that finish to dry, I just brought these out. These are all woods. I bought them online, but they actually all come from around here. Not all of them are wood, obviously, so you got a deer antler here, you can make this into pens like I'm doing right now. This is a piece of driftwood from Canada. It has a really beautiful white color to it. This is just maple. It's a curly piece of maple, so it's got these little lines in it, kind of. Here's a piece of spalted maple, so it's maple that started to rot, but the rot hasn't damaged the wood, it's just kind of given it a different color. And then this is one of my favorites. This is actually a piece of sumac. It's a tree, it just grows, has these little red cones on top of it, and it's got a really beautiful grain, just green and red and yellow, and it actually glows blue under UV light. So it kind of glows in the dark a little bit. Really neat stuff. So I'm on my fourth layer right now, so what I'll do is I'll just polish it up a little bit. So use the super glue, put some on, put that away, and spray it with an accelerator. It'll harden the super glue and make it dry a lot faster. Let that cure up a little bit. And then you take a rag and you take all the accelerator off, because if you put another layer of super glue on, you'll get your fingers stuck. So just turn the lathe off for that.
Now you're just wiping it off.
Just wiping it off. And you never want to touch the finish while it's drying. And not only because you'll get stuck to it, but it'll leave smudges in the finish, which has happened to me when I was trying to figure out the finish and how to do it. But yeah, so it's all the accelerators off, so now I'll use one little coat of this one-step plastic polish. Just lathe on. And this stuff just kind of buffs out the super glue a little bit. Alright, so now I've got all 8 coats of CA on here. It's pretty shiny already. However, and I can barely see them, but there are very tiny little indentations and marks in this thing. So to make sure it's got a perfect finish on it, I'm going to turn the lathe on. I'm going to apply 3 coats of this plastic polish. And then afterwards, I'm going to take a clean cloth and buff it. So this one doesn't require too much, just because it's a single tube pen. Get all that on there. Oh, that's a little too much. That's around 2 coats. And every once in a while, I'm happy it hasn't happened yet, but well, recently, but sometimes when you're buffing or doing anything like this, your cloth can get caught in the lathe, which is why you never want to wear long sleeves around this thing. I mean, I'm wearing them, but they're a lot more tighter fitting, so you don't want to wear like a jacket or something like that.
Or tie.
Or tie. No, definitely not tie. You'll get it wrapped up in your lathe.
That might be a 911 call, Ty.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I gotta stand up. Oh, little coffee bean, don't be lonely. Someday you'll be with other little coffee beans in a beautiful coffee pot together. Your life is short, but so are you, little coffee bean.
Wow, Buford, that was inspirational.
All right, so I just finished the deer antler over on the lathe. So I got the kit out. So these are all the parts that come with the pen kit. Some people think that I custom engrave these. I don't. These are already come prefabricated. But so this is a deer hunting pen kit, and it's got a bolt action. So this is the way you
that's
extend
neat.
the refill. So we've got, this is the ink and the spring right here, and then this is plated in antique brass. And it has a rose gold bullet tip. And then it's also got a head of a deer engraved right here.
Cool.
So I'm just going to come over to the lathe and take this off. With a CA finish, sometimes the bushings will get stuck to the, like that. The bushings are stuck to my pen. So you kind of have to be pretty careful when you take them off, because if you take them off too hard, well, never mind. I guess it's separated. But sometimes if you aren't being careful, it'll actually break the finish. Which after putting 10-15 minutes of work into one pen, just on the finish, it's not good. So I'm just kind of cleaning off those ends. A lot of kind of sanding, abrasive, and all that gets stuck in the ends right here. Just want to make sure it doesn't squeeze out when I push it together. All right, so first thing I got to do, and it's more important with a wood pen. Deer antler is really tough, so it probably won't break. But what I do is I file out the inside to make sure there's no super glue. If there's super glue in there and you press it together, it'll break the pen, which has happened to me way too many times. And then I also take the edges off with this on the brass tubes. That also allows for me to get, well, I can get an easier press, I guess, easier press. Here I've got a pen blank all done. I sanded the ends and cleaned them up so that there's no gunk in them. When I press the pen together, that gunk will come out, so it's always good to get that out of there. So these are the pen parts I'm going to be using. They come prefabricated in a kit. This is a bolt action, so that's the way that you extend the pen, that way. And then I've also got the refill and the spring. So to press it together, first I'm going to take the tip and take one end of this deer antler and make sure I get it lined up right. And I'll take the bushing so that I have put an even amount of force on there. Then I slide this up. This is a pen press. It's specially designed for putting pens together. I used to use a bench vise, but it does not work as well.
Can you overdo it and break it?
Yes, you can. But that is actually pretty hard to do. It's actually a lot easier to break them just by, if you don't prepare the tubes right, then they'll just snap when you put them together. Yeah. Make sure everything's lined up. It's going to apply around 300 pounds of force.
Wow.
Pretty much just, well, you never need that much, but I guess as much as you want to put into it.
It's called a pen press.
Yep. Then take the refill, spring over it. This is a little bit of a tapered kind of spring, so you got to make sure it's the right way. Drop it in. Screw on the tip. There you have it. One complete bolt action pen made of deer antlers. And make sure.
You gotta, if you can't write with it, then you might as well start over again. No, you get a new. That's pretty
There we
neat.
go.
Well, Carlton, tell us what a pen like that would run.
So since it's got a CA finish on it, and deer antler is very hard material to turn, and also a pretty expensive material, this is around a $60 pen.
All right. We appreciate you. Carlton, when did you start playing?
Piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started playing. I think second grade was when I started.
Yeah. And you've playing a beautiful job. Tell us now, what's this piece you're going to do and where was it from? You had a competition.
So, piece I'm going to play. Sorry, look at the camera.
Yeah,
Okay,
look
so-
at the camera.
So the piece I'm going to play is it's a piece by Sergei Rachmaninoff. It's called Prelude in G minor. I played it for a state solo and ensemble competition last year.
You want to learn, tell us all the instruments you play.
So I mainly play piano and trumpet, and then kind of, I guess, dabble in a few other ones. I just bring them out of our music closet and play on the accordion and stuff like that.
Okay. I got another question.
Oh yeah, and ukulele. A
Ukulele.
little bit of ukulele. I've also got some other pen blanks with me. This is the stuff I normally turn. So
Held right up to the camera.
So here's some of the wood I've ordered. So this is a piece of it's called cocobolo, and this also has a sapwood in it. So you've got that white coloration in there too. This is a rare rosewood from Brazil. Here's another piece. I also have this another ironwood. This comes from Arizona. It's a very dense hardwood, and it smells terrible when you turn it, but when it's done, it's nice. This is Bethlehem olive wood. This came all the way from Israel. It's got a very beautiful figuring in it, and it smells like olives when you turn it, so that's always nice. This is one of the weirdest ones. This is called Bacote, and it smells like pickles. It is, I don't know why. It's just something that has to do with the wood, but it's also a very beautiful one. This came from Southeast Asia. It's called spalted tamarind, and it looks a lot shinier than, I don't know if you'll be able to tell from the video, but it's a lot shinier than most woods. Same thing with this. This is a black ash burl. And the reason why is because they're stabilized. They've been put in a vacuum chamber with resin, which hardens the blank, so these are rock solid.
Wow.
I've also got, these are some woods that I just got from around here. This is a piece of driftwood from Canada. This is a piece of apple wood, which smells like apples when you turn it. This is kind of a wood cookie, a piece of red cedar, and this is one of my favorites. It's a little burnt on it, but it's a piece of lilac, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's purple in the sapwood. I've actually got a pen with me that's made of it. So this is my personal one.
Wow.
And there's these purple lines in it. It's got a beautiful grain.
When the Savior comes, I will answer. When He calls for me, I will be here. When the Savior comes, I will answer. I'll be somewhere listening for my name. I'll be somewhere listening. I'll be somewhere listening. I'll be somewhere listening for my name. My name. I'll be somewhere listening. I'll be somewhere listening. I'll be somewhere listening for my name. If my heart is right when He calls me, if my heart is right, I will hear. If my heart is right when He calls me, I'll be somewhere listening for my name. I'll be somewhere listening. I'll be somewhere listening. I'll be somewhere